What's up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino, man. Y'all are tuned in to K-Rino Radio right here on my YouTube channel, man. The real K-Rino. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and be a regular, consistent visitor to the channel, the YouTube edition of K-Rino Radio, man. I'm joined tonight, man, by a brother who is one of the most talented producers that I've come across, in all my time in the game. And we were just talking before we got started how, we linked up around 8 to 10 years ago. And, we've been rocking ever since because this brother's production and his production style is just honestly so tailor-made to my style, man, that I just love it, man. So I want to welcome my brother, the one and only. Y'all know him. If y'all listen to my music, y'all already know him. Y'all have read his name on the credit. The one and only Mr. Supreme Trackz. What's up, my brother? How you feeling, man?
What up, man? What up, family? I'm good. I'm good.
That's what's up, man. We glad to have you on. And I know that a lot of people who've been listening to my music for years, I know they're going to be interested to know your story and your journey, in production, man. Just tell us where you're from, first and foremost. We'll get that going on that.
I am from the Midwest, man. Chicago, west side of Chicago, born and raised. Um, I stayed in the city till like about 87, 88. And then, my parents wanted to get us up out the city. And we moved to the burbs. And I stayed in west suburbs, like around Broadview and Maywood. But yeah, Chicago, man, west side, K-Town.
Chicago in the building, man. So what was your early introduction to production? I know you're old head like me. You come from the old school. When did you first get bit by that hip hop bug, man?
The first time, honestly, was Too Short, man. Too Short, Freaky Tales.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like
yeah.
80, 85, 86. I think I was like 9 or 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, everybody was listening to Too Short about with the lyrics, with Freaky Tales, this and that. I was different because I was listening to the beat. I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, man, that beat hard. That beat goes hard, and that's the only thing I would relate to would be the beat. It's not so much of what you're saying, it's that beat. So over time, it started to progress, and then I got into Run DMC, the basics, NWA, and all them. But then within the 90s, what started to change was, yeah, NWA, Dr. Dre, man, and his style of music. And when I first started making beats was around 95, about 95, because I was with another group, me and my homies called Higher Level Mob with my brother named Bobby Knight and L. So I was making beats for them. But at that time, I really didn't know what to do. I didn't know my sound, and I'm coming from the Midwest. And from the Midwest, we have everything from the West Coast, East Coast, down south. So around 95, I really, no, about 92, I'm gonna go back. About 92, I really got into rap a lot. All right. So I was introduced to Rap a Lot Records, man. And that really influenced everything I did with beats from N.O. Joe, Beto, Mike Dean, you know what I'm saying? So because of that, I tried to emulate what they did back in the day until I found my own sound, you know. And I was really attracted to that Texas sound because I love guitars, I love organs, I love all that. So from that point, when I started making beats, I think I was imitating a lot of Ghetto Boys stuff, a lot of their beats. I would actually remake some of their songs or their beats, just trying to get on that level and trying to understand, how do they do this? How you make beats, this and that. But over time, I found my own niche. You know what I mean? And a lot of people say that my sound is like a combination of the West, the East, and the South, and mainly because of from where I'm at. I'm in Chicago, so we got everything here. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that
That's
was
a
my
that's a
journey.
melting pot. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy because I got a Freaky Tale story too, man. I remember when I first heard Freaky Tales. I had just got through playing basketball at this park, in Houston, and we was walking back to our car, and it was two dudes sitting in the car smoking weed, and all I heard was boom, 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 boom,
boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom. You know,
sir.
I couldn't hear the word because their system was just mostly. Man, I tapped on them dudes window. I said, man, who are that y'all listening to? It's a dude named Too Short. So I can totally feel how you was feeling. Man, let me run down some of the stuff to the audience, man. The songs the tracks that you have done for me personally.
Okay.
We're gonna get into everybody that you produced for as well, but just like I say, my audience is familiar. This man, I wrote down just a few. I can't do all of them, but Marching the Massacre, Upper Echelon, Punishment Phase, one of my favorite, Metro Fantasy, Sensitive Male for all y'all soft dudes out there, man. Last Pair of Draws, Razor Sharp, Murder in the Booth, I Stay Working, 3 weeks later, Talk Like This. Those are some of the songs that you've done just for me. And I know I was attracted to your style basically because of everything that you just got through saying. You got that style, that sound that locks in with the era that I come from, you know. And a lot of the songs that I've done on your beats have been more just my lyrical stuff, you know, because you got some, when you come with that aggressive, I'll be like, man, I want to just body slam something, you know. So
you see that those aggressive beats,
yeah,
it comes from letting off stress from work, man. So I come home and I just, instead of drinking and doing all that, I just make beats.
man, beautiful. And people will ask me on a lot of your tracks, you know, they'll say, who did that? Who did the beat on that? You know, it's a lot of my homies that's South Park Coalition homies, you know, and you know that makes me feel good, man. Well, let me ask you this, because I know you like to sample a lot too. You know, where was your I guess from that same era you got into the sampling too. But what I tell a lot of people, it's not about the sample you use, it's how you use it. Is that something that you look at as well?
Right. It's how you use it. I think. Now, don't get me wrong. Some samples, because I can take maybe about 5 to 6, 7 seconds of a sample. If it's raw enough, I just let it be and throw a cold drum over it. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I like to be creative and chop it up and do this and add a little singing in the background, or whatever. But a lot of that sampling, man, it came from my pops because I grew up on all that stuff. He had man, he used to collect records. So he had hundreds of records, you know what I mean? And from there, Al Green, Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind, and Fire, no matter who it was, I would find something because I had that ear, you know what I mean? And because of that, that's when I started sampling. I love sampling. I just love sampling because of the creativity part of it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, that's why I sample so much.
People don't understand the intricacies of sampling, you know, and also, like you just said, the ability to keep it simple and not mess up the sample. You know, see, like you just said, sometimes the best thing to do is just loop it and slide some drums up on it. You know, and man, I couldn't agree with that more. It's like, man, quit trying to mess it. You know, it's a time and place where you gotta season it up, but if it's in that raw state, let that rock. Let it
be
like that, man.
Let it be, yeah.
Man, Supreme is with us, man. You know, who are some of the people that you worked with just in your time and during production? We'll get him back in a second, y'all. I wish I had a longer list. Unmute too, Supreme. I wish I had a longer list to read. I mean, this brother had done so much stuff for me that it's unreal. It's unreal, man. So I'm really excited to have you on, family. Yeah, I was asking you, who were some of the people that you worked with, some of the artists that you produced for, that you like?
You know? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. I hear you. Yeah. Did you catch that question?
No, you had dropped out.
Okay, yeah. Who are some of the artists that you produced for just in your time in production, and how'd you link up with some of them?
First off, the first one I ever produced for is a brother by the name of Bobby Knight. That's my homie. We grew up together, you know what I mean? And then from there, I produced for Psychodrama from Chicago. They got an album coming out soon, so I did a couple of songs on there. I produced for Buck, his solo project, Nuisance from Psychodrama solo project. Side, I did some of his songs for his solo project. I worked with DMG from Face Mob. He was supposed to come out with an album, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. And then I worked with a lot of different Colorado artists, and that's pretty much it. And a lot of local Chicago artists.
Yeah. When you setting out to work with an artist, I know a lot of those guys they seek you out, but is there something that you look for with an artist that to make you say, nah, man, I can't put you on one of my beats. You ain't ready, or I don't feel your style, or do you just say, well, you know what? You know, if you breaking bread with me, or if you want to work with me, we'll work. How does that work? Because I know as a producer, you take pride in your stuff. You don't want just anything on your beats.
Right. So what I do is, because with my website, supremetracks.com, I sell a lot of beats on there, and I lease a lot of beats. So a lot of those artists who actually purchase the beats from me, I don't know who they are, because it's almost like Amazon. You can just click the button and you buy it, but I have certain beats I preserve for certain people.
Gotcha.
Just like for you, I have certain beats I preserve that I won't put on my website.
Right.
You know what I mean? And say when I'm working with you or Buck from Psychodrama, Nuisance, or whoever, or even Bobby, certain beats I got a stash. I got a folder that I have K-Rino on it. It'll have Psychodrama on it, and then that's how I know. Because if I make a certain beat, what I try to do, just like all the beats I sent you, I actually try to get into your mind. Now it's kind of weird, but I try to get into your mind. Because I remember your first album, The Black Book. Was that your first album?
The Black Book, yeah.
So that's when I first got up on you, was way back then.
Wow.
So I would analyze any music you got, and I would just listen to it over and over and over.
Wait for the freeze, y'all. There you go. To volume.
Fit over.
There we go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with everybody else, it's the same way. I just actually try to study that artist. I study them, try to make the beat the best way I can, and see, and go from there.
Yeah. And I think that's important too, man, because there has to be a chemistry between an artist and a producer, and it's funny, like people watching this, he in Chicago, I'm in H-Town. We've never met personally, but chemistry is there because just like he said, he understands my mind and what I'm into. And now I understand who to go to for certain types of beats I want. If you send me a handful, I already know the one. Okay, yep, you know what? That's one. I know what I'm gonna do on this. I already know what I'm gonna do on that. So chemistry is real important, man.
It is.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, because a lot of times when I send you beats, I'll slide in. I don't know if you paid attention to it, but I'll slide in a beat that I'm thinking like, nah, he ain't gonna rap to this. I'm gonna see what happens. You know what I'm saying? And a few of those you did rhyme over. And I'm like, yeah, he actually liked it, and I call those my experimental beats.
Man, come on,
so
man.
I do that a lot too.
I'm glad to be a part of the experiment, man. You know what? And that's the whole thing. It's like when you're putting together an album, you want to have versatility in terms of concepts. You want to have versatility in terms of production as well. So you as a producer who has that versatility, that's cool to be able to throw something in that's kind of outside of the norm, because those things do catch attention. Because again, I'm programmed to listen for certain things. I know what to expect. And he done threw a curveball in there that time.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. Supreme is in the building, man. Supreme Trackz doing this thing, man. Glad to have you on. Let me ask you this, just as something, just a curiosity of mine. Now, you come from back in the days, back in the old school days, like I do. How have you evolved in terms of the programs you work on? Have you evolved with the computer and all that, or do you still like, man, I still got my stuff that I was using back in the gap?
When I first started, I used what was called a sequencer, man. And I got that from my buddy and the sequencer is like a little small box. I don't know if you know what it is, but it had drum patterns in there and a few instruments, and I think you only could play like 4 different things. And then I upgraded to working with stuff on the computer using FL Studio, and I'm a pro at that because I've used it so long, and I'm kind of stubborn because I haven't really moved to anything different because I'm so used to FL Studio and I'm good at that. So why change that? But as far as production wise, the only thing I got as far as now, um, it's easy to make beats, man, because back in the day, especially in the 90s, man, you really had to have skills and you had to set yourself apart and sound different from everybody else, man. Everybody had their own sound, west, east, south, and up here. So since we come from that era of having your own sound, and in 2021, trying to blend in with what's going on right now, for me, it's kind of difficult because I make trap beats, but I really don't like trap beats, but I can make them. You know what I mean? And the only reason why I don't like them is because everybody's doing it. So it's different if one person or people were doing it, but if everybody is doing it and sounding the same, it's hard for me to make a trap beat because now I'm following that same pattern and being just like them. And where's the creativity in that? You know what I mean? So that's the only issue I get with it right now.
And that's an interesting point because it's a balance. I know you have to be dealing with the balance of my creativity and what I want to do creatively, but also you running a business at the same time. So if somebody comes along and say, man, that's the kind of beats I want, how do you balance that? Or do you say, man, I got to do what I got to do? Because I'm sure that artists have came to you and tried to customize on the spot. Like, man, I want it to be like this. And I know you built tracks with artists on the spot. So how do you balance that?
Well, I mean, if someone comes to me and they want strictly trap beats, then that's what I do. Because it's all about customer service. Customers first, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to beat a certain way, then I'm going to cater to that way. And I'm going to put my own personal creativity aside for a minute and really focus in on what's happening right now with the trap music. You know what I mean? But if I come across an artist who's more on that creative level, a lot of times what I do is blend a trap beat with something that's old school. You know what I mean? And I try to do that a lot. I try to blend our era with the new era and see how it comes out. And sometimes it works, and the only difference in that, what makes a change in that is the drum pattern. That's what makes a change because you can have an old school sample, right? If you put a trap drums over that old school sample, then it's a trap beat. You know what I mean? So I try to really do that and blend the two together whenever I can.
You get the best of both worlds. I'm gonna give you something for you, but I'm gonna give you some of me at the same time, man.
Exactly.
That's a beautiful thing, man. Do you see? Because I know one thing about a producer, especially a producer of your caliber, you talk about the ear.
Right.
A producer's one of the gifts that I notice in a lot of great producers is that ear is not just relegated to their production, but it's also it extends over to an artist. So do you have situations where you can listen to an artist and kind of develop him like, nah, this ain't for you. Let me show you how you need to do this and how you, as they're weaving their way into your tracks. Do you like develop, train them on that level like that?
I mean, I'll give an artist my ideas on a song. But it's still, even though I consider a song to be both of ours, since I produced it and that person is rapping over it, still they're the main feature on that song. So the only thing I could do is give them an idea and see if they run with it. If they don't run with it, then it is what it is. But at least I feel better knowing that, hey, you should do this, or hey, maybe you should do that, or switch this up. Nah, I don't like it like that. Oh, okay, cool. At least I threw my 2 cents in there. But overall, it's really on the artist. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. So.
Have you ever done that and gave those suggestions to a guy, and then they say, nah, I'm gonna do it my way, and then it turned out and be trash, and you be like, I told this dude, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever been in that situation?
Yeah, a couple of times, but you know, when they record it in the studio, then I hear it. It's like in my mind, I'm thinking, I told him don't do that, but still did it. But it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Because your pride as a producer, man, I know, you know, this is how I view producers. When you give away that, it's like letting that bird, it's like the parent bird letting the bird out, like, it's gone. I don't have any control over it no more. Because an artist can do something on your track that does it no justice. And you be like, man, you know, I ain't want to even sell him that beat, but he bought it and now he done messed it up, you know. What's that like? Because I know it happens to every producer.
it happens, man. It happens, but I look at it at the standpoint to where when you're dealing with creativity, even with a song that a person thinks is garbage, right? It's their creativity. It's coming from their mind. You know what I mean? So just like when I make a beat, you're actually stepping into my world. You're listening to my mind. You know what I mean? So, like I said, if a song is garbage, is it really garbage? Because that's their creativity. I can't knock their creativity. You know what I mean? So it may be something I'm not feeling, but somebody else might be feeling. But it's still all within that creative circle. You know what I mean?
No question. And some of your beats, again, the best producers, they're sometimes, man, your stuff will create the concept for me. You know what I'm saying? And
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, it's dope. Like, it's like you listen to him like, oh yeah, I already know what I'm gonna do on that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell a hell of a story on that. Oh yeah. See, the beat is already grooming you to what needs to be done on it. And it's up to that. And that's my job to complete that part. You've done your part. I have to complete my part, man. Hey, man, we learning from the homie Supreme, man. Supreme Trackz in the building, man. One of my favorite producers that I've ever worked with, man. So do you think about, like, as far as how the game is going? I remember a long time ago, I know you remember DJ Magic Mike, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day. He put out a whole album with just production one time. Why do you think we don't see that type of stuff no more? Just your opinion, like, or is that something you would want to do, or does it make sense?
Well,
make sense.
I think the game is oversaturated, man. I mean, I've done mixtapes, beat mixtapes, but it gets lost in the wind because everybody's doing it. You know, so when you got like a million producers all doing the same thing, it just gets lost. And in this era right now, the only people who can actually do something like that would be a Kanye West, Dr. Dre, or somebody that's on that higher level, because it's going to attract people like, oh, they're doing a instrumental album. But someone on my level or something like that, nah, because it's going to get lost within all the other producers. So to me, doing that is cool if you're trying to promote yourself to do an instrumental album or instrumental mixtape. If you're trying to promote yourself and get more followers or more customers or get your name out there, then that's great. But at a certain point, you got to realize when you do those instrumental mixtapes or albums, they're free. Anybody can take those beats. You see what I'm saying? And for me, it's almost like a waste of creativity making that, because now anybody can have it. You know, and some beats, you know, it might take me days or even a week to make, and I'm like, man, it's not selling, so let me go ahead and put it on a mixtape. When I put it on a mixtape, everybody loves it then, because of course it's free. You know,
and then the game has changed, because I remember back in the 90s where there were producers who was getting 1,500, 2,500 for a beat. Now, like you say, with the market being so oversaturated, the producers are now in a situation where it's like, I gotta lease this out, I gotta sell this at this particular price and things of that nature, man. You know, I know that gotta be a crazy. See, the rappers always get all of the glory, man, but the producers and the DJs kind of get, you know, swung to the side when in reality, man, that production is the foundation of everything we love about this genre, man. You know, so that's interesting, man. I don't know if you saw this. There's a while back. There's a song you did for me called "I Stay Working," and I might have tagged you in it when Pat Mahomes put up a clip of him working out to that song. You know, somebody had put it together and sent it to him. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. This is about a year or so ago. Somebody sent it to me. Somebody made like a video showing Pat Mahomes training, and they had the song "I Stay Working" playing behind, and he reposted it on his thing, you know what I'm saying? So I tell people all the time, I say, well, you know, he heard me and my brother, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But to me, like I say, that's just a testimony, man, the fact that you know, we put together some stuff, man. We put together Name me three artists that you would love to work with. I don't care if living dead, mainstream, underground, three rappers that you would be like, man, I'm stopping what I'm doing tomorrow if they call me and say they want some tracks.
Three artists.
Yeah.
Number one, Scarface.
Oh, yeah.
Huge Scarface fan, man. Huge.
I can hear Face on your beats too. Yeah, straight up.
Who else? The second artist would probably be Nas.
Okay.
Most likely Nas. Man, there's so many though. You said three?
Yeah.
So many.
I started to say five. I almost said five. I said, no, I'm gonna let him make it, and we're gonna hit him with three.
Jeezy.
Okay.
Jeezy will be the third one. Yeah, but it's way more than than three.
That's a strong three, brother. Like I say, I can see your style fitting within because it's a lot of stuff that you've done for me that could absolutely be straight East Coast, you know, type of sound. You know what I'm saying? Right. You all over the map, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're not in.
I try and I do that on purpose. Man.
No, bro, you doing it. You know, it's. I don't think that there's a region that you would not be able to acclimate in terms of your production. I've heard so much of your stuff that I already, like I say, like you say, the trap, the old school 90s sample gangster, the East Coast up tempo, the boom bap. I've heard you do all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a skill that a lot of artists don't have, man. Tell us anything you got coming up new, anything you working on, what's your plans, you know what I'm saying? What you got coming out?
Right now, I'm not
and your website, how they can get music.
Well, my website is supremetracks.com, Supreme Trackz with a Z.com. Right. And then my SoundCloud page is Supreme Trackz with the number 2 behind it. Right. Okay. And then as far as people I'm working on right now, there's not too many artists I'm working on right now. Just still working with the same people, Buck from Psychodrama, Nuisance, Side, just the same people. So nothing too much happening right now.
Beautiful, man, but that's all right, man, because I guess what, you know, I'm gonna be hitting you up real soon. Hey, I gotta ask this question because I'm gonna be interviewing a lot of the producers I work with, man. You know, I ain't trying to be on my own. I'm just a curiosity from my point of view. Right. Name 2 or 3 of the tracks you've done for me that like your favorite stuff that I've done. Cause I want to make sure I did you justice as well, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The main one, what's the first beat I gave you?
Oh man, my memory don't go back that
far. What was that album called? Hold on, I'm thinking.
I don't know either. That's I Stay Working. That's
no, yeah. Not that one. Yeah. It was it's on the tip of my tongue, man. I can't think of it. Yeah. It's on the tip of my tongue too.
Yeah. But I always wanted to ask you that because I was like, man, you know, I just want because right now, man, literally I wrote down about 10 or 12 that you've done, but I know it's another 10 that I'm not even remembering. You know, that's how much work we've done. But a lot of the stuff that I do on your beats, I notice like a lot of my lyrical stuff, you know what I'm saying, just bars, you know what I'm saying? Because that aggressiveness, man, that aggression that you bring on some of those beats, man. So I just want to let everybody out there know, please, man, y'all need heat. If y'all fit in the stuff he's done for me and others, hit him up, break some bread, and patronize my brother, man. Because in my eyes, you know, he's one of the dopest out there, man. Straight up. You got any other social media you want to push or promote?
Social media, Facebook is under Supreme Trackz. Instagram under Supreme Trackz. Pretty much everything is under Supreme Trackz. Twitter is under Supreme Trackz. So that's all I got.
Man, I thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Not just for coming on, but I appreciate all the love you've been showing me, man, and just all that fire, bro. And continue success. Continue to do your thing. Don't ever stop. You know, keep slapping them upside their head with that fire, family. And Supreme Trackz, he got the right name because his tracks are supreme, man. Much love to you, brother.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. Anytime. Appreciate you having me, bro.
Oh, come on, man. Long overdue. Long overdue. Peace, family.
All right, man.